ha opp for å starte showet på liksom den ordentlig ekte delen i dag, veldig fort blitt en av favorittalerne mine. Veldig fort. Det helt sikkert grunnen til at han har ikke jobbet med sin sino så lenge. Han har kommet inn og skapt en rakettkarriere på veldig kort tid.
Men jag måste säga en ting alltså, för det är att han kommer egentligen från Skåne. Men sedan vi kommer från Norge så fattar vi inte skånska. Så han kommer att prata engelska. Det var Sandra.
Noen ble skuffet, andre tenkte yes, nå kommer jeg til å skjønne hva han sier. Så han kom altså til å prate på engelsk, for de som ikke skjønte hva Kristoffer sa en gang. Så kommer da neste taleren til å prate på engelsk. Som jeg sa, han en fantastisk dyktig leder. Han har lang erfaring fra bransjen, og han har skapt et enormt stort team i Cincino på egentlig veldig kort tid. Så hjelp meg å ta godt imot Royal Crown, Marco Passanante!
Som jag har snackat min skånska så snabbt som jag snackar den så vet jag inte om det hängt med med hela speechet. We talked about it before. Should I speak English? Yeah, let's do it in English. And then the first person in here I talked to over there before the event, after 1 minute he said, jag förstår inte this spoke. So no, it's skånska. And he said, can we speak English? Of course. So I'll keep it in English for this. But I'm so excited to be here. I'm so excited for what this year has to offer. You know why I'm excited? No, because you can't know, right? And so you're smart crowd. I'm so excited because I started the year already designing it before it started. So I know where I'm going to be 1 year from now. So I hope you started the year by designing it ahead as well. How many here have designed your 2019 already? A couple of you. That's great. But the good news is for you who didn't do that is that you can do it today. If you don't do it during this event, after the event, sit down and write down, where do I want to be 1 year from now? Because if you think back 1 year, you probably sat here, if you're in Cincino 1 year ago, you sat here 1 year ago, you came here, it was a new year, you heard some new stories, you're hoping that you could get 2018 going big time, and then 1 year passed by, and for some of you, a lot of things happened. For some of you, not so much changed. Because lack of action equals lack of results. Quite easy. And lack of results equals frustration. I mean, I've been exactly today or yesterday, I don't know if it was 18, 19, or 20th when I started 2009. So it's exactly 10 years ago now when I started in this industry. And I remember I wanted so much more out of my life. So when I talk about it, I was a wannabe versus a will be. Because the good thing, no matter what you have done until now, this industry, this business is so forgiving. Which means you can fire yourself now, rehire yourself directly after, and you can draw a line in the sand and say, okay, until today, I've been procrastinating. Last year I set up a plan, I didn't follow through. But you can step over that line and tell yourself that, okay, new year, new me. From now, I'm gonna create a plan, I'm gonna know, number one, design what I want, so I can design the year in advance, so I can break it down to a plan, so I can create those daily habits. Because success is very simple. It's small daily habits over time. So the good news is it's in your hands. So no matter the results you have gotten until now, you can change it. So look at the timing also of Cincino. 60 million euros, approximately last year. So they talk about, Hill, they talk about training about tenfolding sales for a company, no matter if it takes 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10 years. But if you understand numbers, if you understand when you're part of a company, come into that sweet spot, 40, 50, 60 million euros, and you're part of that run from 60 million to 600, eventually a billion. I mean, I like numbers, I look at facts and what happened in other companies when they went from 10 million, 20 million, 30 million to a billion. A lot of wealth was created in those companies. So, how many in here want part of that wealth that's going to be created in the next decade? It starts today. It starts by you creating those right habits. You can go from you want it, because you're already trying to say, yeah, I want it, but you have to go from a wannabe to a will be, and then you do right habits. And I'm going to talk about today how to start a new person correctly and quick. But also I want to talk about breaking the zero before I go into the topic, because it's a new year. We're 19 days in, and Hilde always talk about it as well, right? Coming into a new month, breaking the zero. Starting a new partner, breaking the zero. New partner, new customer. But no matter if this is your first week or this is your 9th year with Cincino, I hope you had a plan for how you were going to break the zero when you enter the new year as well. Just like you're thinking every month. I always run the business with numbers, so I look at the back office every week. I'm checking who am I running this week. So I want to break the zero coming into next week already the Thursday. If it's not personal, breaking the zero, a new partner, or breaking a new rank, or breaking a new customer title, but I want to break the zero always quick. So I broke the zero, signed up a partner in Italy, the 15th. Of course, he had experience, so we did a launch call the night before. He brought in 69 people to the launch call. With a call that Uri came in as well for a little while, and then they started signing up the day after, and he went diamond in 36 hours, which is the quickest, but of course he has experience, so don't compare yourself if you're new here. Like, to reach that level, when I was brand new 10 years ago, it took me 9 months to get to that level. Because like most of you, when I started a decade ago, exactly a decade ago, I was working 10 hours a day for a big newspaper in Sweden, and I was playing soccer in 2nd division every night. So I left my home 7 in the morning, I came home 10 at night. So many say, I don't have time to do 7 hours a week, I don't have time for this. No, but then you have to ask yourself, are you satisfied with the results you're getting in your life and what you're doing in your life today? Will that take you to where you want to be? For me it was no. Okay, then I have to carve out time from TV watching time, browsing on Facebook, watching soccer, because I love soccer. I watched a lot of soccer. Okay, just take away 1 game a week, I take TV time, Facebook time, and I decided I'm going to give it 7 hours per week for 1 year. And I did that disciplined. My first month, 7 a week, 7 a week, 7 a week. I made 40 euros. Woo! But you know what? I told myself I'm going to give it 1 year, 7 a week. Next month was 100 euros. And do you know the feeling of having a pay raise of 150% in 1 month? There I saw, this works. Because of my job, if I had 2%, I was happy per year. There I saw 150% second month. What will happen if I keep doing this 3 to 5 years? So create those habits, and when it comes to creating stability in your business, one of the most important factors from going from a wannabe to a will be is actually how you start a new person. When I started 10 years ago, when I signed up my first couple of partners, they quit. I had to rebuild it 3 times. No big business, but 2 or 3 people, 0. 2 or 3 people, 0. Then we went to 12 people. A couple of weeks later, we had 2 left. Why? What happened? Of course, if you do the right things with the wrong people, of course some will quit no matter what. But if you start people the right way, with urgency, because you have to break the zero quite quick today. Why? Because people have not very long attention span, which means if you start them in the 5th week to get to 1 customer, they're going to think this is going to take 680 years to get to director. It won't be worth it. So talking about why it's important to get them started quick. Couple of things. Number one, why do you help them create some results quick? Number one, it builds belief. Because they sign up that first partner, which means they sign a partner, often they hear maybe a positive product testimony, and the belief goes up in the product. I want to bring it to business presentation directly. I want to bring it to the next event because I need education. So I want to build a belief, of course, in the products, in the company, in the industry as well. So I directly, very intentional in what I give them, what I have them see. Because if you raise belief in the company, the product, the industry, and then you are there as their shield to do the first steps with them, the belief in themselves will go up. So another thing it does is, of course, they become profitable, because once they start a business and they start seeing some income coming in, and all of a sudden they make the first smart bronze bonus. They see the back office, they say, wow, I made some money. Fast silver, a little more money. Extreme Express. So I want to talk about the 4-4 plan as quick as possible. And because when they become profitable, also there the belief goes up, of course. Then they get some recognition, and I've seen, I mean, when I started, what recognition did was it built my self-esteem amazingly, because in school, when I went to school, if there was a presentation, I had to speak in front of the class. I didn't show up. I rather took a lower degree than showing up. That's how afraid I was of speaking in front of people. Even in the classroom, if I sat in the back and the teacher said, what year did the World War II start? And if I sit in the back and I just know, okay, 1939, just by knowing the answer, figure shall I raise my hand, my heart started beating so quick. Of course, now I started 15 years of work on myself. I spoke first time on stages 10 years ago, so now I've done it all over the world. So now it's natural, of course, whatever you do, enough time you will be better at, but also it becomes more comfortable. So don't sit there if you're brand new things like, oh, recognition, I want recognition on stage. But once they forced me on stage the first time, it was a nice feeling. I went up, I go, well, I don't dare to, but after I'd done it was this kick of self-esteem, and I felt like I grew half a meter when I walked off. So there happened something as well. And then of course the duplication. If you start the right person the right way, because people, you can sit, of course you give them express or directly, but if you just give them express, they read this and do the things, it's not even 10% as effective as if you do the steps with them. And if you do the steps with them, they will do the steps with their people. If you just hand them CD, express start, great, there's a förrättningspresentation on Thursday, be there, ciao. So I want to be their shield. We'll do the first steps with them. So of course retention goes up because you teach them how to follow up the customer. You teach them that they have to sit with the customer, talk about the second test. You teach them that when they start a new partner, there's a couple of steps. So this is the steps I recommend and I always do. So number one, if you're brand new, find a role model. Find a role model. You have to be that role model for your newest person as well. Which means, it can be a sponsor. If your sponsor started last week, it can be your sponsor. Find somebody that has what you have. If you're brand new, a diamond is more than enough to help you do those first steps from 0 to executive, 0 to platinum. Once you pass diamond, maybe you want to find a new role model. But also remember, when you find that role model, if you don't have a role model in your city, you can find them at the event. You come to an event and see them. By the end of the day, it's up to you. So I teach the new person in the second step, it's a get started talk. I sit down with them. If I'm their role model, I sit down with them. In this conversation, within 48 hours from when they started, I want to have a get started talk with them. And here, I do a couple of things. Number one, I want to prepare them. You started a business. I prepare them as well. It's up to you, 100%. I'm going to be here, do the steps with you. I will not do the job for you, but I do the first steps with you so I can educate you and teach you how you can be independent so you can teach others eventually to be independent as well. So I prepare them what they will face. I prepare that you will hear more no's than yes. When you invite people, if you don't invite them the right way, this is what you're going to hear. And remember, when you tell people, if people tell you, oh, there's a pyramid thing, well, if I tell this is what you're going to hear, I also explain why people would feel that way. Because if I prepare them, it's kind of like I vaccinate them before the flu. When the flu comes, they're vaccinated. So I prepare them for what they will hear. So when they hear it, they think, that's what Marco told me. But if like, I didn't prepare them, then they hear it, like their father or their wife or their husband goes, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, those things, blah, blah, blah. They get shocked. Because I didn't prepare them. So like I hear some speakers say, yeah, the pyramid thing, you don't hear that anymore. Yeah, good luck. Have you done a, I asked one speaker, say, yeah, but I've never heard that pyramid thing. I said, okay, but when did you last start a person with no experience in this business? It's the first thing they hear. If they reach out to 20 people who hear it, how many times do you think if they reach out to 20 people? 3, 4, 5? Even more? How many do you think? 6 out of 20. Yeah, so which means they will hear it. But if I prepare them, it won't be a shock. So I prepare them. And I talk about their goal. This is key. Why do I talk about their goal? Why do I want to know their goal? It's because I want to know what I'm helping them achieving, but also I can give them a realistic plan. Many of you start a new person, you tell them 4, 4, 10, you need to do 4, 4, 10, go get 4 customers. But why? I want to know why first. I can't tell anybody, you need to do this. I talk about 4, 4, 10 is the steps, and then ask them, if you do this the first 30 days, you've made around 700 euros. Many people want to do this in 2 weeks, some in 1 week, some in 4 weeks. What's your tempo? They don't know anything, so if I say most want to do 1 week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, X-Team Express as well, that's the normal for them. So they tell me, I want to do it in 2 weeks. Great. Do you want my help? So one, they said they want it. Next key question for getting the allowance to lead them. Do you want my help? They say, yes. Came on. You said you want this is what we need to do. Boom, boom, boom. Easy. 4 for 10 is super easy if you run it by numbers. Okay, we say I start Hugo, Teresa, Hugo, great, you want to do it in 14 days. Great, let's put that plan together. Let's look at your calendar. When are you working? When are you doing what? And then I say, great, you said you want to do 4 for 10. 1 out of 2 will become a customer. Which means we need to make 20 potential customers. To get 4 partners, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, if you invite the right way, we present together. 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5, we say 4.5 to be sure. So we say, who does mean? You said you want 4 partners as well. 1 out of 4, that means, 1 out of 4.5, that means we need to meet 18 people. So I tell them, so 20 potential customers, 18 potential partners for you to reach your goal. That's average. Good day can be more. Bad day, we maybe even need to call some extra people last days. But this is the average. So look at your calendar. Can we do 20 plus 18 the next 14 days? We can do that. Great. Let's schedule them now. So it's his first day at job. I need to give him the steps. I need to lead him. Because first day at the job, how many here ever had a job? When you came into a job the first day, was somebody telling you what to do? Or you just walked in and, yeah, here's the keys, good luck, bye. You're at the hotel, like, okay, great. What do I do here? That's how many start people in this industry. So just sitting down with them, be professional, set the preparations correctly, set the plan, the goal, and then what I want to do is the process to create leadership, because I want to create a presenter in my business. So another step I do is, I call it me, we, you. So I tell Hugo, these first 18 people we're going to meet, you do 100 potential partners and 50 potential customers, and then we decide who's the 20 for, who's the 18 for that, who's the top 10 on his list. So I also work on the list with him. I'm going to push him to invite them. So the me, we, you is, he invites them, I tell him, The first 6, 7 one-on-ones with your potential partner, I'm going to do the presentation. I do them, we talk about them, he takes notes. Then maybe the 7th is the me, we, you. The 7th, he do the product part, I do the business part. 8th, we mix. 9th, he do the presentation, I sit there, bite my tongue, take notes, and so I create a presenter. Does it make sense?
Yes.
It sounds so simple, but do you think most people do this? Everybody like this. You can't say no as well. Do you think most people do this?
No.
Thank you. And so me, we, you is super important. I teach them how to promote me as a sponsor during the presentation, because if he promotes me the right way, I would say 70-80% of the job is done before the presentation. But too many invite a sponsor, they say, yeah, I'm bringing Daniel, a guy called Daniel, he will present. Daniel comes, I put him in front of my prospect. My prospect will sit like this. Who's this guy? Why should I listen to him? So it's psychology, and you want to win that psychology. And of course, promoting events as well. So I will talk with the newest person. Expectations up front always. You say you want to have this and this kind of results, you have to be willing to do this and this. My sponsor told me when I signed up a decade ago, I was sitting in the forest in Skåne, Shona, it was called. He said, you know what? What's your goal long term? What do you want? I said, I want money and time freedom. Because he had talked about these people making 1 million kronor a month and stuff. And I said, if they can have it, I can have it. What do I need to do? He said, number one, you need to be at the next event. You need to get educated. You need to meet the founders, the doctors, and everything. So you get the right information, so you're equipped and educated. You will save 6 to 12 months of work just by being there for the feeling you will express. It's okay, great. Where is it? Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Do you have anything on Mars? January, when I was employed, there was always too much January left at the end of the money. And around the 20th of January, I don't know if you feel the same when you were employed or unemployed. For me, it was that way. So I told him, I mean, I can book now. And he told me one thing that was so good. He said, no, but you said you want this and this and this. Either you find a way or you find an excuse. And he said, if you want what 1 out of 1,000 people can have, you have to be willing to do what 1 out of 1,000 people are willing to do. Either you find a way, a solution, or forget. You're talking these big dreams. You want to have this, you will never get there if you don't make the sacrifices. So I asked him directly, okay, can you borrow me half the money for a flight ticket? Yeah. Do you know anybody's going? A guy called Bill was going. And I said, can you call Bill and ask him if I can stay with him and I give him the money next month when I get my salary? He called Bill and Bill, yeah, of course, yeah, you can do that. And then I called my mother. I was making more money than my mother because I was living from football and the job. So I said, Mom, I'm going to Vegas. Can I borrow some money? And it was January for her as well. But luckily she got a salary and I got another salary, which meant I could have little paid everything, paid back some stuff. And then I borrowed money from my mother. So I went to Las Vegas 5 days with 1,800 Swedish pesetas, Swedish kroners, to Las Vegas. But because I went there, that's where the business went from hoping I want this to work to I made that decision. When this went from here to in here. People inspired me so much that I went from there and felt like I want to inspire people like they inspired me. So promoting the next events, getting the next event ticket. If people say, I can't afford to be there. No, but what's your dream? What's your goal? Yeah, I want to be a diamond. I want to be an ambassador in the future. Yeah, if you're serious, if you're really serious, I tell people that, if you're really serious, you want to go director, you say you can't afford being there, trust me, you cannot afford not being there. So either give up that kind of dream or you have to make the sacrifices. And then of course, I try to help them with a solution. Just like Magnus that day borrowed me some money. I see, okay, is it something I can do? Can I get them to ride with somebody to the event? So I want to be a problem solver as well for them, of course. So you have to make that sacrifice. Start the person with that. So that get started talk, the first 48 hours, will change your business if you do that and you push them to those first steps. Because the hardest thing to do is take those first steps. And remember, before, when they signed up, I already there gave them express start, talk about the goals, and do the list, and let's meet in 2 days. Don't try to explain for anybody, don't try to invite, we do it together. So they use me as the shield, and I get them to take action. And then, a thing you all should have an answer to is when you get, for example, Christmas dinner with relatives, and they ask you, so what do you do? How many of you have a good answer you feel like, without no hesitation, what do you do? And you know, bam! Approximately 12.2 per room is the average I see on this. So what do you do? I want all of you to think about that now and write it down. Because you need to know this. Because now you're scaring away your best prospect because you sound so unprofessional when they ask you, so what do you do? And then you try to invite them 3 days later. Then they think in their head, subconsciously, like, they think like, wait, he's doing, they don't want me to do. No thanks. So, I'm going to give you some examples before we take 1 minute for you to write. For me, remember, there's no right or wrong. It's your business, it's how you feel. Because the most important thing is, it's how you feel about what you say is actually more important than what you actually say. Because you transmit a feeling. You transmit, because people love energy, people follow energy. So if you're confident, with energy, excited, people will listen to you. Like when people tell me that, yeah, the business is crap. Okay, based on what? What's your experience? And then I share why I do it and this, and I always disarm them with questions. If they say, is that a pyramid scheme? I don't say, no, it's not. I say, pyramid scheme, what? I always disarm them with questions. Is that a pyramid scheme? Which happened on family dinner. Oh, your goodness, pyramid things? What do you mean when you say that? And it's so funny because most people say, yeah, you know that the people at top make most money, those kind of things. Okay, but you work at H&M, who makes the most money? People at top or you at the bottom? I played soccer. Is the people in Tippeligan? What's the name before? I don't know if it's anymore. Is the people in Tippeligan or in the 5th division makes the money? So tell me one area where the people at the bottom make most money. Except Social Security. So I always disarm them with questions. So I want to write down what you do. I gotta give you a couple of examples. Some of you say, yeah, I help people with their health, or help people get balanced. If you lead with health, you find your way there. For me, what's comfortable when I'm networking all over the world and go to network events in Barcelona, so when you ask me, so what do you do? So I build a franchise concept out of e-commerce business, connected, within the health industry. That feels comfortable for me. And because I never want to kill curiosity before I'm going to sit with that person, I just say, build an e-commerce business. That's what we do. We have e-commerce. We have a web shop, right? So build an e-commerce business. So I'm building a franchise concept out of an e-commerce business. That is very, I would say that creates curiosity without knowing exactly what. Like in what way? Yeah, I'm connected to a Swedish public trade health company. And then I ask them questions about them. And then for example, if I'm a networking event or I meet somebody, because I sign up a lot of people that way. For example, in Florida many years ago, it was 5 years ago, Richie was, he got to meet this woman. I met her at Chick-fil-A, and I was coached by John C. Maxwell for 6 months. I was in Costa Rica with Maxwell, got a couple months in college with John C. Maxwell, and so I knew he was coaching the managers at Chick-fil-A, which is a little healthier fast food, right? Chicken salad and stuff. So I walked in, I was going to a presentation in Florida, and then I ordered the salad, and the manager came, you could see the manager because he was wearing different stuff. And started asking her, so you work here, how long have you been working here? And then I was asking people, so where are you originally from? If they don't ask me that question back, I don't even keep talking to them. They're not even open-minded people. So I never chase people. I ask them questions. If they ask me questions back, like with her, so how long have you been working here? Yeah, nice. Are you originally from this area? Or, yeah, from here. And where are you from? And then back and forth, couple of questions. And I say, yeah, I know that Johnson Maxwell is coaching the managers here at Chick-fil-A. Are you? So I try to find common ground. Are you in that program as well? And, yeah, we just had this course and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, great, nice. And then I'll always, just to get them to a coffee, I always say the same thing, like, so this, you need to have these phrases for you, so you sound secure. Just say, her name was Crystal. So I said, hey, Crystal, you know what, I'm working with a Swedish publicly traded company within health. We're expanding in this area right now. We're looking for right people. I like your approach. So Crystal, if you're open for new opportunities, let's meet for a cup of coffee and talk. And I always want to point out where they're safe and secure. Her job was there, was a Starbucks on the corner. I said, let's meet on the Starbucks there next week to talk, if you're open. Yeah, what it's all about, this is the key. What it's all about. You possibly explain you're working as well, but as I said, I don't really know you as well, so I can't promise anything. But I said, we're expanding right now, building a franchise concept or e-commerce business. So if you're open, let's meet. Crystal, if you're not open for new opportunities, you're not the person I'm looking for. So also try to take it away. Don't let people feel you're desperate. So I want you to write down, what do you do? When people ask, so what do you do? No matter if you say I'm building this, or I have a marketing business, or whatever you feel is the right for you, is the right for you, because that makes you feel in a way so you express the right feeling instead of scare people away. So let's take 1 minute, you write down what do you do. When you get that, you need to know when you get that question, next dinner at your cousin's place. So, Lasse, vad gör du för något? Right, take 1 minute, give us some music, give us 72-minute music and you write down what do you do. Your thinking, what you wrote down now, what I do when I'm at the event, my key things, I open the last page of my notebook and I write with a star a couple of key things. I would recommend go revisit this later today in break or later today, because this will change a lot for you. What do you do? If you just know the answer, that will change a lot. And then the next part that will change a lot is knowing your story. If I started Hugo today, he brings me Sunny for presentation. He's going to share his story because he has the trust. He knows Sunny. Sunny when he feels that Hugo is serious with this. Hugo will do this. Why is Hugo doing this? Why? What will Hugo do? So what I recommend for an easy way to remember when you create your story, how, why, what. Page 62 in Express Stars, I have as well a couple of nuggets there. But I keep it simple, like why, how, what is why. No. How, why, what? How I saw Cinzino. Yeah, Sonny, I saw Cinzino, I was 10 years ago, it was not Cinzino, but example, it's 3 months ago. Yeah, Sonny, I work at the newspaper 10 hours a day and play soccer every night, and I feel like I want to have more freedom. I feel I have no time, and so I saw Cinzino. So how I saw it, because you will say here, Marco called me because I was a sponsor in that example, saw it because Marco called me, and so how I saw it, why I decided to do it. So that how and what I do is how I saw it and why I decided to do it. Because in that case, for me it was freedom. I felt I had no life. I went up 6:12 every morning and left home at 7, back 10 at night. I felt I had no time. So I shared that. I wanted freedom. So how I saw it, why I decided to do it, and then what I'm going to create. That's when people started following me, was when I wrote down my vision, what I'm going to create. I even created a vision board after that event. I went back with my vision, with every presentation I ended would say, listen, Sonny, and I stole a story from another leader. I went to Las Vegas and met this from a truck driver making 500,000 kronas a month. If he can do it, imagine what we can do, Sonny. Look at my husband vision board. I saw somebody that created, I'm going to create this. I'm just looking for the right people. So that's why you're here. If you like what you see, let's do it together. If you don't like it, then you're not the right person, Sonny. But I'm going to create this. With or without you. If you like it, let's do it together. Some people didn't even dare to say no. Okay, where do I sign in? Yeah, great. So how I saw it, why I decided to do it, and what I'm going to create. So, number 3 is creating that plan, as I shared before, with numbers. 1 or 2 big customers. Then your business becomes very, very predictable. And then it's mastering the skills. What skills is it that I need to teach you? I shared before, but you, in that process, he needed to invite, because he already did a list, so he needed to invite. We did a presentation together, so I taught him during that process how to do a presentation. Follow up. Get the new person started the right way. Since we did it together, all the steps, I was there when he invited, because we created a list. I helped him, who's the top 10, why this person, great. Help him to take the best one. Not like most people do, if they write 100 names, they start with 90 to 100, because that's where you're comfortable calling. If you're a leader, I'm there to lead him to take the right action, for him to go where he want to go. So I did, this is skills, invite person, follow up. Invite person, follow up. And get the new person started the correct way. Then I teach him my habits that always created. Here's the summary, you can take if you want a picture, what skills and everything. And directly there, take it for next event, because I know if he doesn't attend that, he's not even started. And this process with me, with you, and work with him, have to get started, or do the steps together, and it will change your business. And there you'll go from you want to be, you hope to be, to I will be. And at the end of the day, it's your daily habits that will take you there or prevent you from going there. Thank you very much. See you later.